Yeah, g'day there, viewers. Mr. Shawnee Thompson poking along, not bad, thanks. Today we've got Jack back in the shed, and the poor little fella needs a water pump. So I'm going to go through what to do, how to do it, why we're doing it, and what to look for if yours is broken. Okay, so first things first, we get the bonnet up. Now I'll show you in here real quick to show you what we are actually looking for when the water pump. Now if you look down there, that big pulley just there. No, I'll try and zoom in. That pulley there, that's your water pump pulley. Now look down there, in between the gap, and you can see a pink stain running down between those two pulleys there, and on that next belt, that there is the hole where the seal in the water pump actually lets go because the water pump bearing's on its way out, and that little hole there is designed to leak the coolant out. So underneath, when you park it in your driveway, you'll get a light puddle of coolant there because it's designed to leak out that little hole just there. Copy? Now, first things first, I got my little helper here today. Say hello.
Hello.
Got my little helper here today. She's helping me do all the filming and holding the phone and stuff for me. So, first things first, rip this shroud off the front. Shroud's got to come off, radiator out. We'll drain the water out to do that. Plates off the bottom of the bash plates and all that have to come out. Top and bottom radiator hose, radiator out.
Daddy,
That comes out. Fan belt off.
Daddy,
Yes.
can I see down the bottom?
Yes, you can see down the bottom, but just 1 second because Daddy's still filming.
Okay.
Bloody cameraman. Yes, so top heart radiator hose has to come off. Fan belt, fan, viscous fan hub, all that. So we'll do a step-by-step guide. I'll time-lapse some of it because some of it are a little bit boring and slow, but that's cool. So first things first, we'll get the radiator the shrouds off the bottom, bash plates and everything, and then we'll get the water out of it, eh? Hehe. Alrighty then, so now that I've got all the covers off underneath, the bash plates and stuff, I've taken off the shroud here, and I took off the cover there, making it a bit easier to see in there. I don't know if you guys can see that pink or not. Anyway, so yeah, next thing is the water pump. Unbranded, I'm not affiliated with these guys, I just bought one. Good idea before you start going ripping everything apart, and just open the box and make sure it's all in there. So yes, we've got the water pump. Have we got the gaskets? Yes, we've got the gaskets and the O-rings for the thermostat housing. The thermostat actually goes in there. So I didn't actually get another thermostat because it's not getting hot or anything. So yeah, happy days. Now, next thing on the agenda to do. Down under here real quick. Now, remember, the radiators in these have got your, what do you call it, transmission cooler. That hose and that hose, automatic transmission cooler that goes into the bottom of the radiator, and that's what cools it down. So when you take those, that there off and that there off, it's going to leak the oil. This is going to be a big job. That there is your coolant drainer. Take that off, bucket under here, drain the coolant out of it. Bottom radiator hose has got to come off. For those of you who don't know, that's actually your oil filter in the 200 series. That's where you change it. It's got a little spring in there and everything. I'll do another video on doing a service on one. Yeah, shroud's got to come out, fan's got to come out. That's pretty much it for underneath, I think. And up the top, next thing would be top radiator hose has got to come off. Battery lead, get it out of the way. Tank, it's got to come out of the way. Power steering's bolted onto there. Power steering reservoir's got to come out of the way. Hopefully we don't have to disconnect it. And yeah, just keep pulling shit apart and see what happens. That's your bleed screw there. Be very, very careful with them because they do break. You know how I know? Because I've broken a few, eh? So yeah, be careful with them. Undo it when you're filling it back up with the coolant. Undo that so it lets all the air out. And then when you go to do it back up, don't over tighten it because it will break. Copy? Copy. So that's where we're at. Okay, so now that we've drained the water out of the radiator, we're going to go ahead and pull the top radiator hose off and just basically going to start at the top and work my way down until we can get the radiator out. And yeah, fan shroud's going to come off. Throw you back on time lapse real quick, because this bit's, you know, it's not technical, it's just, yeah, pull shit apart. As we go along, I'll give you some handy tips and hints. And remember, if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. It's going to be epic. And buy my merch too. Mr. Shawnee Thompson, not bad, thanks. Drop the link for the Shopify store in the account. Got cool stickers, shirts, hats. Well, shirts are coming, but yeah, hats, stickers, it's epic. So I thought I'd just pause the time lapse there real quick and show you guys something. The people at Toyota are fucking retarded. See that little clip there? That goes in here and holds the power steering fluid bottle onto the radiator cap. Now to get that little clip out, you've got to lever the crap out of it and nearly half break the bottle so you can get it out. It's absolutely freaking stupid, because I don't know if you can see or not, there's another bolt down in there that you can't get it out because the power steering bottle's in the way. Ah! So frustrating. Anyway, rant over. Alrighty then, there you have it, viewers. Fans out of the way, shrouds out of the way, and there it is, water pump. I'll take the belt off. I think I'm actually going to leave the radiator in there this time, so we won't have to take those pipes off, won't have to take the bottom radiator hose off. I think I can get to it without pulling rad out, so that'd be good. You can stay there, buddy. The only thing I would pull the radiator out for is in there. You can't really see, but between there is your condenser and your radiator. And if you do a fair bit of off-road bush driving and stuff like that, you will get grass seeds in between the radiator and the condenser. So every now and then you can undo that bolt, and you can undo that bolt, and you can lean the radiator back, and you can actually just blow it all out in there and get all the grass seeds and that out. Will help keeping the big girl cool. I mean, in this case, big boy cool. Anyway, moving right along. So, water pump. I'll throw these back up there, and yeah, we'll go through pulling the water pump out, taking the tension, belt tensioner off, and then yeah, this pipe here has to come off. I might take that off, so just get a bit more room in there. As you saw in the time lapse, I had to take the battery out just so that we had a bit more room. That stupid thing. Toyota, you pissed me off. Excuse the French. I'll probably beep that out. But yes, Toyota, you frustrate me, very much so. Anyway. Yeah, that bit of rubbery crap has to come off. I'll pull this off, wires and stuff. It's not a 5-minute job, people. Allow a good couple of hours. It's Sunday morning here. So I'm just gonna punch through and get it done as quick as I can, because wifey needs Jack for work tomorrow. So, poking along, not bad. Thanks. Righto, so I'll give you a bit better view of the water pump and where it's leaking before I actually get it out. See that bad boy? Oh yeah, now, I can't actually see this, but you guys will be able to see it better. See that in there? That's where it's leaking, all in around there. It actually looks like it's leaking out of that hose there too, so I might have to put a hose clamp on there and piss that stupid little what's off. But if you listen closely, hear how you can hear that seal's real dry? It's like squealy, if not. And there's a little bit of movement, you guys probably can't see, but there is a little bit of movement in that pulley. So the bearing is on its way out. Water pump needs changing. So we'll get back into it, eh? Am I upside down? So I finally got the water pump out. Here we go. Not bad, thanks. Came out relatively easy, but there's the thermostat in there, water pump in there. You can see where it was leaking around the back there. Where is it? Underneath there. If you can see. Righto, so that's about it. We just got to clean up the gasket surface because there was a bit of crap in that on there. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and jam the new one in there. So guys, with the water pump, it comes with a new gasket. It comes with a new O-ring for the thermostat. So basically, we put the O-ring on the thermostat. There's a little lip in there. Make sure you get it on the thermostat properly. Just feed it around there like that. Jam it on. Now, very, 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 very important. I'll say that again. Very important. See that little decky bit there? That's an air bleeder. Now, water pump sits like that direction in the engine. That little air bleeder must go up the top, all right? So that it lets all the air out. So as the air comes up through the system, it bleeds out through there. If it is around that way, you'll get an airlock up there. So if the air bleeder's down there, you'll get an airlock in your thermostat and it won't open because there's no water in there to heat the thermostat up so that it will open, so that it will work properly. Copy? So make sure air bleeder is at the top. This one, when I pulled it out, was actually sort of around there like that, but make sure it sits at the top. And then gasket, put the gasket on that direction. And then, yeah, jam the water pump back on in the go. So, really embarrassing, but the GoPro is actually going flat. It's beeping at me, telling me it's going to run out of battery. So, I'm going to just put jam the water pump back in there, put the top stud back in. I'm going to just jam it all back in, throw all the bolts back in it, throw the GoPro on charge, and then, yeah, I'll time-lapse putting all the stuff back in. But you basically saw it pulling it out. It's just the reverse of pulling it out, you put it back in. And then, yeah, fill it up with water. Happy days, away you go. Go. Okay, guys, so GoPro's back, fully charged, rip roared and ready to go. While we've been gone, I've completely put the water pump back in. I've got the fan shroud back in, the fan back in, all bolted up. Put the fan belt back on. Just got to put the cooler bottle back in. Figure out that stupid setup there. Yeah, it turns out I didn't have to take that intake pipe off, which is good. I haven't actually done a 200 series before. I've done heaps of 79 series, but not the 200. But they're exactly the same motor, only this one's got twin turbos. Goodness, baby. So, all that's back on in. Yeah, we'll just throw that coolant bottle back in. We'll bleed it. Now, remember back at the start of the video, start of the video, when I said, be very careful not to break that stupid bleeder thing? Well, I gone done broke it. Oh, that's so irritating. Why? Anyway, I'll lent on it. It was actually broken before. You can see that there's, it's just had some super glue put on it. It was broken before, I lent on it, and it just come off in my hand. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get a new one. I'm not sure how much they are from Toyota, but it'll probably be expensive because it's from Toyota. Now make sure, viewers, that when you're putting these hose clamps back on, that you try and get them back on in the exact same spot as they come off, because if you don't, they will leak and they will be a pain in the ass bone. And there. Yeah, so make sure you try and get them back in the same spot as where they come off so that they don't leak. See how there's a bit of movement there? If I was to have that, like, say that round here, it wouldn't seal properly because of where it's been pushing on the hose its whole life. Same with that one, I haven't quite got it exactly where it was. It's not far off. Anyway, so yeah, just a little tip for young players. Make sure they're back exactly where they were, otherwise it will weep a little bit. Okay, so now I've got the tank back in, I've got the battery back in, just got the funnel in there, filling it up with coolant. Now what we're trying to do, just got the bottle full of coolant. What we're trying to do now is bleed the system. So basically what we want to do, right, that's your top radiator hose, that goes down into your thermostat housing through there, right? So when we're filling this up, we need to make sure the water goes down in there onto this side of the thermostat housing so that when it gets full and it gets hot, it can open the thermostat housing and the water pump will pump the water back around the radiator. Copy, copy? That's where we're at. So the easiest way that I have found that works, it may be stupid, but if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. Old saying is, fill your bottle up and then take this out, put your finger over that little hole there, and then, oh hang on, I'll take that off. Take that hose off there. That's that hose that I was telling you about before, where the bleeder hose, because that's broken now, so I can't get that out. So I've got to use the return bleeder hose. And literally blow. Pressurizes the water going into the bottom of the radiator and fills it up to the top. So when water comes out there, obviously it's going to fill that hose up first before it comes out there, because that's the lowest point. So that's how I do that. You can do it however the hell you want to do it, but that's how I do it. You can fill the funnel up, leave it there, fill the funnel up so it gets head pressure, and it'll eventually work its way in there. But the fastest way I found was to blow on it. So you can laugh at me if you want, but it works. So now, got everything back in, it all looks pretty good. I filled it up with water, we are happy days. So now what I'm gonna do is go and start it, and yeah, start it, run it for a while, and yeah, watch our water level when it goes down, because it will go down a little bit once the thermostat's open, and it still have a little bit of airlock in there, which is nothing you can do about it. But once the water pump kicks in and it starts circulating through the thermostat being open, the water level will go down a little bit. So we'll start her up, heat her up, and yeah, see how we go. Quickest way to warm it up so that it brings it up to temperature is to turn your air conditioner on. And this one actually has the two thermo fans in the front of it as well. One thermo fan. It actually seems to be sucking a shitload of air, so before I mentioned that in there could be blocked. If you can feel like it's blowing a shitload of air through there and down in between here, it's you can feel it sucking a crap load of air. Actually work now. That condenser, you probably can't see it, that condenser is starting to get fairly warm. So the thermo should cut out here in a minute. They usually take a little bit. Thermo fan cuts out once they get going, and we'll yeah, water level. And yeah, look, it's already started to go down since the water pump kicked up. So yeah, and as you can see on the dash just there, the temperature is starting to come up a little bit. The temperature gauge is moving, kind of, sort of, not really. So yeah, aircon's on flat out. Am I stupid? Oh, anyone thinks these Tesla screens are a good idea, do not buy them. They are a piece of crap. Temperature slowly starting to come up. We'll rev it up a bit. Just rev it up a little bit. Get that water pump working. And so I could just hear that the thermo fan is not the thermo fan. The viscous fan hub's just cut out. So obviously she started to build up a bit of temperature in there. Happy days, sitting on about 1500 revs. Another thing I recommend highly is if your car has pink coolant in it, put pink stuff back in it. If it has green stuff in it, put green stuff back in it. Because yes, for some reason some of them have green, some of them have pink. Now pink and green, there are a lot of controversial things out there that they mix and some of them don't mix, but me personally, I like to keep them as they are. So if you got pink in it, put pink back in it. If you got green in it, put green back in it. It's not rocket science, baby. Anyway, so yeah, look, see the temperature gauge there, we're starting to come back up. I can zoom. Can I zoom? No, you cannot zoom. How do you go, bro? So yeah, temperature gauge is starting to come back up. We're sitting on about 1500 revs. Oh, we are now. Temperature gauge is coming up. Happy days. Awesome, so now all that's done, we'll go ahead and we'll put the car cover back over here. We'll put the cover back on there, grab the undercover guards and stick them under there. With these underbelly protection guards, these bolts, if you like your mechanic and you want him to keep working on your car and you're gonna do this sort of shit by yourself, make sure you put a little bit of never sees on the bolts as they go back in. Your mechanic will love you, you'll love yourself, because you know, I've driven this on the beach, gets a little bit rusty in there, yes, a little bit of salt water, blah blah blah, it's not gonna hurt. Anyway, a little bit of never sees goes a long way, people. Can save hours and hours of headache for people like myself who got to do this, deal with this crap every day. So here we go, guys. Here's the Loctite brand silver grade anti-seize. It takes literally 2 seconds. You can pick this stuff up flaming like anywhere that sells tools or anything. Literally dab it on there, throw it in your box of bolts. 3 seconds. Doesn't have to be pretty. Like just slap, slap, slap. Throw it on there. Mate, it makes my life so much easier when I go to pull these bash plates off, because if you're anything like me, you're gonna get in there and have a fiddle around with something. You're out bush or something, you get a stick caught up in there or something happens and it'll whip the bash plates off. Like obviously you're not gonna have never sees out bush, but when you get home and you're hosing it down or whatever the hell, you pull the bash plates off, like 5 seconds, look at that. Hang on, I'll tell you exactly how long that took on the video. Boom, look at that. Literally 1 minute. 1 minute and 2 seconds we've been recording that for. Boom, that's how long it took. All the bash plate bolts never seized up. It will save so much time when that bolt strips out in there, under there, laying on the ground, trying to get it out with angle grinders and stuff. It's not fun. Righto, so we are all done, all tidied up, all finished. Cover's back on, guard's back on. Everything's back on underneath. Started it, heated it up again. Yep, we're sweet. So we're going to take for a hot lap, take for a test drive. Just sort of do a quick little toolage. The toolage that I used and that you will probably use doing that job. So 3/8 drive socket set, 1/4 inch drive socket set, rattle gun, pliers, mainly plenty nose pliers. Those angle ones are so freaking handy, and so are they. The 45 ones and those angle ones, you will use them more than what you think. And yeah, happy days. That's basically all it. Fun off for putting the coolant back in. But yeah, guys, so that's that is how you change a water pump in a VDJ 200. Not bad, thanks. Remember, if you want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and check out my merchandise on my Shopify store. Thanks, guys. Righto, so we've just come for a hot lap in Jack Jack. Yeah, just to make sure everything was all good and we got no leaks and everything. So far, so good. I've just got out here to the back track. Got about halfway on the temp gauge. So we're just poking along for now, but yeah, got up to 100 on the road. We're sitting on about halfway on the temp gauge now. It's all fairly normal. I'll get up here in a bit and I'll pop the bonnet. We'll just have a quick look and make sure it's all sweet. So we just pulled up out here real quick, pop the bonnet. Our water level's good down in there. You can see or not, our water level's good and got no leaks on the ground underneath. Obviously the aircon's leaking back there, you can probably see, but yeah. So, mission success. We'll just take the cap off. Yeah, there's still water in there. It's all good. It's not hot coming out of the radiator, like, so the fan's blowing warmish air, but it's not hot, so that's good. Excellent. You can laugh at me if you want a little bit. You guys want to know the best thing about recording your whole life and putting it on the internet? When you forget how the fan belt goes, you can actually look back through the footage and figure it out. Eh? Tell you what, all this filming by yourself, there's a lot of running involved, eh?
That was horribly wicked.